if I told you that something as simple as the bread you eat every morning could be silently shaping your health for better or for worse? For decades, we've been told that all bread is the enemy, that carbs are bad, that we must give them up to stay healthy. But the truth is far more fascinating and far more empowering. You see, not all bread is created equal. Some types can actually damage your metabolism, spike your blood sugar, and inflame your body, while others can heal, nourish, and even help you thrive. Today, I'm going to show you how to say goodbye to the unhealthy breads that hold you back and welcome the kinds that support your energy, your gut, and your long-term vitality. Because food isn't just fuel, it's information. And once you learn how to choose the right kind of bread, you'll unlock the power to help your body heal itself, one slice at a time. When we think of bread, it's often seen as a simple food, a basic staple of life, that has fed civilizations for thousands of years. Yet, in our modern world, bread has become one of the most misunderstood and controversial foods on our plates. The truth behind the first keynote that not all breads are equal, and some harm the body while others help it heal, lies in understanding how modern food processing, ingredients, and nutrition science have transformed what used to be a symbol of nourishment into something that can either support or sabotage our health. The bread of today is not the bread our grandparents ate. Traditionally, bread was made using whole grains, natural fermentation, and minimal ingredients. Those loaves were rich in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and beneficial bacteria that supported digestion and overall health. But in the pursuit of convenience, longer shelf life, and mass production, we began refining grains, stripping away their nutrients, and loading bread with preservatives, sugars, and additives. As a result, much of the bread consumed today has been transformed into a source of empty calories that can spike blood sugar, trigger inflammation, and contribute to a cascade of health problems. The key difference lies in how bread is made and what it's made from. Whole grains, such as wheat, rye, oats, barley, and spelt, contain three main parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. The bran provides fiber and antioxidants, the germ contains vitamins and healthy fats, and the endosperm offers carbohydrates for energy. When all three parts are kept together, as in whole grain bread, the result is a nutrient-dense food that releases energy slowly, keeps blood sugar stable, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. However, when grains are refined, the bran and germ are removed, leaving behind only the starchy endosperm. This process gives the bread a soft texture and long shelf life, but also removes most of its nutritional value. What remains is a product that digests quickly, causes a rapid rise in blood, glucose, and leaves you hungry soon after eating. High blood sugar spikes, caused by refined bread, can have far-reaching effects on the body. They push the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin, the hormone responsible for moving glucose into cells. Over time, constant surges of insulin can lead to insulin resistance, a condition linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Furthermore, these blood sugar fluctuations can create energy crashes, mood swings, and cravings for more refined carbohydrates, trapping people in a cycle of unhealthy eating. This is one of the ways certain types of bread, especially white bread made from refined flour, harm the body. They don't nourish, they deplete. In contrast, whole grain and naturally fermented breads act very differently. When grains remain intact, their fiber slows digestion and prevents sharp increases in blood sugar. Fiber also feeds the microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in our gut that influence everything from immunity to mental health. A healthy gut microbiome produces short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation, support the immune system, and even play a role in preventing chronic diseases. In other words, the right type of bread can literally help your body heal itself from within. Fermentation, too, plays a vital role. Traditional sourdough bread, for example, is made through a slow fermentation process using natural yeast and bacteria. This process breaks down gluten and phytic acid, making nutrients more bioavailable and easier to digest. It also lowers the bread's glycemic index, meaning it causes a slower rise in blood sugar compared to conventional bread. People who experience bloating or discomfort after eating commercial bread often find that naturally fermented sourdough feels completely different in their bodies. This isn't magic, it's biochemistry. The microorganisms in sourdough transform the bread into something your body can recognize and utilize in a more natural way. Another important aspect to consider is the quality of the ingredients. Many commercial breads are loaded with artificial preservatives, emulsifiers, and added sugars designed to make the product more appealing and long-lasting. But these additives can disrupt the gut microbiome and contribute to inflammation. On the other hand, bread made from organic, whole ingredients without unnecessary chemicals provides a cleaner source of energy and nutrients. It's not just what's in your bread that matters, but also what's not in it. The grains themselves also vary widely in their health effects. Ancient grains like einkorn, emmer, and spelt have a different genetic structure compared to modern wheat, which has been bred for high yields and gluten strength. These ancient grains are often richer in nutrients and lower in gluten, making them gentler on digestion. Many people who believe they are sensitive to all wheat may find they tolerate these older grains better. Once again, it highlights the idea that not all bread is the same. Even small differences in the type of grain or method of preparation can dramatically change how it affects your body. The science of angiogenesis, which explores how food influences the body's ability to grow and repair blood vessels, also ties into this concept. Dr. William Lee and others have shown that certain foods can enhance the body's natural defense systems, including those that fight cancer, inflammation, and metabolic disease. When you eat the right kind of bread, one rich in whole grains, fiber, and natural compounds like polyphenols, you are supporting your blood vessels, improving circulation, and promoting healthy tissue regeneration. Conversely, consuming highly processed bread made from refined flours can do the opposite, impairing these vital processes. It's also worth noting that our relationship with bread is not purely physical, it's emotional and cultural. Bread has been called the staff of life for a reason. It brings comfort, community, and tradition. The goal is not to demonize bread, but to choose it wisely and return to the roots of what bread was meant to be: a nourishing, life-supporting food. Saying goodbye to unhealthy bread doesn't mean giving up the pleasure of eating it. It means reclaiming that pleasure in a way that aligns with health and vitality. When you choose bread that supports your body, whether it's a dense rye loaf, a sprouted grain bread, or a naturally fermented sourdough, you're making a small but powerful decision for your well-being. You're saying yes to steady energy, better digestion, improved immunity, and a sharper mind. You're feeding your body with information that tells it to heal, grow, and thrive. And over time, these small daily choices build the foundation for lasting health. So when we say, not all breads are equal, it's not just a catchy phrase, it's a scientific truth and a call to awareness. Every slice you eat can either work for you or against you. The power to choose is entirely in your hands. By understanding the difference between breads that harm and breads that heal, you can transform something as ordinary as your morning toast into an act of self-care and longevity. In that moment, bread stops being the enemy and becomes your ally, a simple, delicious tool to help your body do what it was designed to do: heal itself naturally. Number 2, choosing bread made from whole, unprocessed grains, rich in fiber and nutrients, is not simply a dietary suggestion. It's a powerful act of reclaiming control over your health. In a world where food is often stripped of its natural goodness, understanding why unprocessed grains matter can help you make choices that nourish your body at the deepest level. The second keynote, which emphasizes selecting breads made from whole, nutrient-rich grains, connects ancient wisdom with modern nutritional science. It reminds us that real health begins with real food, and the closer we stay to nature, the better our bodies function. When grains are left in their natural state, they contain 3 essential parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. The bran, which forms the outer layer, is packed with fiber, B vitamins, and antioxidants. The germ is the nutrient-rich core, containing healthy fats, protein, minerals, and vitamin E. The endosperm provides carbohydrates and energy. Together, these parts create a perfect balance of nutrients that work harmoniously in the body. When we eat whole grains, our digestive system processes them slowly, releasing energy gradually and keeping blood sugar stable. This slow digestion helps us feel full longer, reducing cravings and supporting weight management. It's nature's built-in system for balance. Unfortunately, modern food processing has disrupted this balance. When grains are refined to make white flour, the bran and germ are removed, leaving only the starchy endosperm. This refinement process strips away as much as 80% of the grain's nutrients, including fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left is a product that's easy to bake with and has a long shelf life but offers very little nutrition. Worse, refined flour is rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream, causing blood sugar spikes that lead to energy crashes, mood swings, and increased fat storage. Over time, this can contribute to insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. The very bread that once sustained our ancestors has been turned into something that undermines health instead of supporting it. Choosing whole, unprocessed grain bread reverses this damage. Whole grain breads provide dietary fiber that plays multiple critical roles in the body. Fiber acts as the digestive system's best friend. It keeps things moving smoothly, prevents constipation, and supports a healthy gut microbiome. The good bacteria in your gut feed on certain types of fiber, producing short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation, improve immunity, and even support brain health. A diet rich in fiber from whole grains is associated with lower risks of heart disease, stroke, obesity, and certain types of cancer. It's not an exaggeration to say that fiber is one of the most important nutrients for long-term wellness, and bread made from unprocessed grains is one of the easiest ways to get more of it. The nutrients found in whole grain bread also extend far beyond fiber. B vitamins such as niacin, thiamine, and riboflavin are essential for metabolism, helping the body convert food into energy. Minerals like iron, magnesium, zinc, and selenium play crucial roles in oxygen transport, muscle function, immune defense, and antioxidant protection. When you eat bread made from unprocessed grains, you're not just filling your stomach, you're fueling your cells, feeding your brain, and strengthening your entire system from the inside out. These micronutrients work together like an orchestra, each contributing its unique sound to create the symphony of health. Another remarkable benefit of whole grain bread is its ability to stabilize blood sugar levels. Because of its fiber and complex carbohydrate content, it breaks down slowly, releasing glucose into the bloodstream gradually. This slow release helps prevent the dramatic blood sugar spikes and crashes that come from eating refined bread. Stable blood sugar not only supports consistent energy but also reduces stress on the pancreas and insulin system. It can improve mood, focus, and even sleep quality. When your blood sugar is balanced, your entire body feels calmer and more in control physically and mentally. Beyond nutrition, whole grain breads often provide a more authentic and satisfying eating experience. They have a deeper flavor, denser texture, and natural aroma that reflect their nutritional richness. Unlike the airy, flavorless loaves made from refined flour, whole grain bread feels like real food. It satisfies not just hunger but a primal desire for substance. That satisfaction matters because when your food is nutrient-dense, your body recognizes it, and your appetite naturally regulates itself. You don't need to overeat because your body has received what it truly needs. The best types of whole grain breads are those made with minimal processing and real ingredients. Look for breads that list 100% whole grain, whole wheat, sprouted grains, or ancient grains like spelt, rye, barley, or millet as the first ingredient. Avoid breads that include enriched flour, bleached flour, or long lists of artificial additives. Sprouted grain breads are particularly beneficial because the sprouting process increases nutrient availability and reduces substances like phytic acid, which can block mineral absorption. Sprouted grains also contain more antioxidants and have a lower glycemic index than non-sprouted grains. This makes them gentler on blood sugar and easier to digest. It's also important to consider how the bread is prepared. Traditional methods, such as fermentation or sourdough baking, enhance both the flavor and the health benefits of bread. Fermentation breaks down gluten and starch, making the bread easier to digest while also producing beneficial compounds like organic acids. These acids not only improve gut health but also slow carbohydrate absorption, contributing to better blood sugar control. In contrast, commercial breads are often rushed through the baking process with added yeast, sugar, and chemicals to speed fermentation. This might make production faster, but it deprives the bread of the natural transformations that make it truly health-promoting. Whole grain breads can also play a role in protecting long-term cardiovascular health. Research consistently shows that people who consume more whole grains have lower risks of heart disease and stroke. The soluble fiber in whole grains helps lower LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, by binding to it and carrying it out of the body. Whole grains also help maintain healthy blood pressure, thanks in part to their magnesium and potassium content. These effects, combined with better blood sugar control, make whole grain bread a natural ally for the heart. Beyond physical benefits, choosing unprocessed grains is an act of mindfulness. It's a way of honoring the connection between the earth and your body. Each grain begins as a seed, packed with life-giving energy, nutrients, and potential. When we eat it in its whole form, we honor that natural design. We allow the wisdom of nature to do its work within us. In a time when so many foods are engineered, refined, and stripped of life, returning to the simplicity of whole grains is both grounding and empowering. Whole grain bread is not a trend, it's a return to authenticity. It connects us with centuries of tradition, from ancient farmers who cultivated wheat and barley to bakers who relied on slow fermentation and natural ingredients. When you choose this kind of bread, you're not just making a healthier choice, you're participating in a lineage of nourishment that stretches across human history. Every slice becomes a small reminder that food is meant to heal, sustain, and bring joy. Ultimately, the message behind this keynote is clear. The quality of what we eat defines the quality of how we live. Bread made from whole, unprocessed grains rich in fiber and nutrients is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to improve your health. It fuels your body more efficiently, supports your gut, stabilizes your energy, and reduces your risk of chronic disease. It teaches you that health isn't about deprivation, it's about choosing foods that give more than they take. Every time you reach for whole grain bread instead of refined white bread, you're making a decision that supports your vitality. You're choosing strength over weakness, nourishment over emptiness, and longevity over limitation. And that small, consistent choice can transform not only your meals, but the trajectory of your entire life. The right bread can do far more than fill you up or satisfy your cravings. It can actively support gut health, balance blood sugar, and boost longevity. For most people, bread is a daily comfort food, something familiar and routine. Yet few realize that it holds the potential to either strengthen the foundation of health or slowly erode it. When you choose the right type of bread made from whole, natural, and nutrient-rich ingredients, you are not just eating, you are communicating with your body on a biological level. Food is information, and every slice sends a message to your metabolism, your microbiome, and even your cells. Understanding how the right bread contributes to gut balance, stable energy, and long life reveals why this everyday food deserves far more attention than it often receives. The gut is often called the body's second brain because of its deep connection to the immune system, mental health, and inflammation control. A thriving gut microbiome, the vast community of bacteria and microorganisms living in your digestive tract, is essential to overall health. These microbes help digest food, produce vitamins, and regulate hormones and immune responses. However, they are highly sensitive to what we eat. Processed breads made from refined flour and sugars can disrupt the gut environment by feeding harmful bacteria and yeasts, leading to bloating, discomfort, and inflammation. In contrast, bread made from whole grains, natural fermentation, and fiber-rich ingredients feeds the beneficial bacteria that protect your gut. When you eat such bread, you're not just nourishing yourself, you're nourishing trillions of microscopic allies that keep your body in balance. Whole grain and fermented breads like traditional sourdough contain prebiotics, special types of fiber that serve as food for healthy gut bacteria. These fibers pass through the digestive system undigested until they reach the colon, where beneficial bacteria break them down and produce short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate. These compounds are essential for maintaining a healthy gut lining, reducing inflammation, and even supporting brain function. Butyrate, in particular, has been linked to lower risks of colon cancer, better immune resilience, and improved mood regulation. In this sense, the right bread acts almost like a natural medicine for your gut. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. The fermentation process in breads like sourdough enhances these benefits even further. Natural fermentation uses wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria to slowly break down the starches and gluten in the dough. This process makes the bread easier to digest and increases the bioavailability of nutrients like magnesium, zinc, and B vitamins. It also creates organic acids that help maintain a balanced gut pH and inhibit harmful bacteria. The mild tang you taste in sourdough is evidence of this living, microbial transformation, one that continues to benefit your body long after the meal is over. People who experience digestive discomfort with commercial bread often find that fermented or sprouted grain bread feels completely different in their system because it works in harmony with the body rather than against it. Balancing blood sugar is another crucial benefit of choosing the right bread. Refined breads made from white flour are digested quickly, flooding the bloodstream with glucose and forcing the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. This rapid rise and fall in blood sugar leads to energy crashes, irritability, and cravings for more sugar or refined carbs. Over time, these constant spikes strain the body and increase the risk of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and weight gain. The right bread rich in fiber, protein, and complex carbohydrates digests slowly, releasing energy steadily and keeping you satisfied for hours. This steady release of glucose prevents hunger swings and supports better mental focus and endurance throughout the day. Fiber plays a starring role here. It acts as a natural regulator, slowing the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream and preventing sharp spikes. Soluble fiber, found abundantly in oats, barley, and certain whole grains, binds with water to form a gel-like substance that moderates digestion. This not only balances blood sugar, but also lowers cholesterol and supports heart health. Eating fiber-rich bread in the morning can set the tone for the entire day, helping maintain stable energy and preventing overeating at later meals. It's one of the simplest ways to protect metabolic health without giving up the foods you enjoy. Protein content also makes a difference. Bread made from whole grains, seeds, or legumes contains plant-based proteins that work together with fiber to stabilize energy levels. These proteins slow gastric emptying, meaning the bread stays in your stomach longer and provides sustained satiety. This is why a slice of dense, whole-grain bread topped with healthy fats like avocado or olive oil can keep you energized and focused much longer than a sugary breakfast cereal or a piece of white toast. Balanced blood sugar doesn't just affect physical health. It affects mood, cognition, and even sleep quality. When your glucose levels are steady, your mind feels clear and your body feels calm. The long-term result of feeding your gut properly and keeping blood sugar balanced is nothing short of life-changing. It directly supports longevity. The body's aging process is largely influenced by inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic dysfunction. The right bread helps reduce all three. Whole grain breads are rich in antioxidants like vitamin E and selenium, which protect cells from damage caused by free radicals. Their high fiber content reduces systemic inflammation by maintaining a healthy gut barrier and promoting the production of anti-inflammatory compounds. Meanwhile, the slow, steady release of energy from these breads prevents metabolic stress that accelerates aging. Longevity isn't only about living longer, it's about living better, staying active, focused, and vibrant as you age. Choosing the right kind of bread is one of the small, consistent habits that contribute to that goal. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume whole grains tend to live longer and have lower rates of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. This isn't coincidence. It's the result of the way these foods interact with every system in the body: the gut, the immune system, the metabolism, and even the brain. It's easy to overlook the impact of something as ordinary as bread, but health is built on small choices repeated daily. When you replace refined, nutrient-depleted bread with whole, fiber-rich, naturally fermented options, you shift your body's chemistry in a positive direction. You create an internal environment that supports repair instead of breakdown, stability instead of fluctuation, and vitality instead of fatigue. Over time, these small adjustments compound, building resilience from within. Beyond the biological effects, there's also something emotionally satisfying about eating bread that's good for you. Knowing that each bite is supporting your health rather than harming it brings a deeper sense of connection to your food. You can feel the difference in your body: more energy, less bloating, steadier focus. This positive feedback encourages mindfulness and appreciation for what you eat. It turns a simple act, like eating bread, into a moment of empowerment and gratitude. In the end, the right bread does not just belong in a healthy diet, it belongs in a healthy lifestyle. It supports your gut, your metabolism, and your longevity because it works with the body's natural systems rather than against them. It proves that healing and health do not require deprivation or extremes, only awareness and intention. When you choose bread that nourishes instead of depletes, you're sending a powerful message to your body. You are committed to vitality. Each slice becomes more than food. It becomes an investment in your future, a simple daily step toward a longer, stronger, and more fulfilling life.